Thank you so much, and thank you for coming. David, would you like to start?
Yes. Welcome everybody to this information session on the Master of Education and Science Education. It's called SEC5 because that is our fifth iteration of the program. So we've done this now the fifth time. So welcome everybody. Great to have you here, and those of you who are viewing later, also welcome. So just to let you know that we're coming to you from UBC, which is out in the west side of Vancouver, and we're seated on the Musqueam traditional ancestral territories where the university campus is located. And I know that you're coming in from various places around BC and maybe even further across Canada. So welcome.
Or the world.
Or the world for that matter, yes. So just a little bit of an introduction about where we're going to go today. So we're going to do some formal introductions in a moment, talking to you about the background of the program schedule, and the application and admission process, and then have some opportunity for Q&A to answer your questions in particular. So let me formally introduce myself, and I'll pass over to my colleague Marina. So my name is David Anderson. I'm a professor in the Department of Curriculum and Pedagogy over at in UBC, and I've been a professor there for almost 25 years. And Marina and I put together this program. I'm guessing it must be, is it 8 years ago now, Marina? Maybe a bit longer, 9 years ago.
Because we had to approve it. Started 2016 and then it was approved 2018. We had the first one.
Yes, it's been very, very successful. We'll tell you a bit about the history of the program in a moment, but I've been a science educator for all my academic career. I'm also a museum educator, so I dabble in the informal side also, and I run a very similar program here at UBC called the Master of Museum Education program. But I really love this particular program that you're interested in today because it really does help professional development with teachers. It really is a great engaging program, and just thrilled that you're here. Marina, tell us a bit about you.
So I'm a prof in science education. I'm very interested in teaching science with technology. So my passion is in teacher education and educating teachers to use technology in a pedagogical and innovative way. Obviously, today with the smartphones and AI, I feel we live in exciting times, but it's also very easy to get lost in all the innovations and how changes. So we have created this community where we help each other, we get to know each other, so we are all learning together. And I teach 2 courses in the program. I teach usually a course on research in science education, and also a course on the use of technology in STEM, mathematics and science. Finally, I wanted to say that the idea behind the program was that discussing teaching is not just in a vacuum. We feel that having science educators together is much more productive and effective than just having a general program on teaching. And we wanted to bring people who teach science across K through 12 because we can learn from each other. So that, I thought, was our motivation, at least partial motivation, to create this program. And
just to be clear about today's program, so this is a 2-year, 1-term program. It's an online delivery program, which means that it's done through our learning support services in Canvas. It's asynchronous, which means that we work together through the program every week, but it's not necessarily at the same time. So you may be logging in and off to engage with the materials of the various courses. And that's very beneficial because we all have different kinds of life schedules and family issues and work issues. And the benefit of this is that you can plan your week out and engage in the material, engage in the program at times that are very convenient for you. So people with young families and busy careers, that quiet moment after 9 p.m. when the kids go to bed is ideal for some people, and other people who are early risers can get up early and get into the materials and engage in the curriculum before they get to work. So it's very, very flexible this way. So as Marina said, it's specifically designed for practicing teachers and educators. So it's designed to be a part-time program, so it works harmoniously with your busy work schedules and your careers. And of course, it furthers you professionally in many, many ways. And we've had many teachers in the program go on to take what they've been doing and further their careers, whether it be in administration or being an advanced, more advanced science teacher, or many other directions people have gone. So it's open to people in all kinds of disciplines. Most of the people coming in are science educators, but we do have math educators and other disciplines coming in. So it's open to people who have a passion about science education, basically.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say the word mixed, modality mixed, because you have electives, and those electives, some people have face-to-face courses. We'll talk about it later, but most of the courses are online, but you have an option to have face-to-face courses as well. I'll just say a few words about this program so we can move on. Just to say that it's not a program for teachers in British Columbia. While we do have, to be honest, most, I think, of our students are from BC, it's not a BC-oriented program. Science education, we have teachers from, in the current cohort, from China, we have from Hong Kong, I think. We have teachers from all over Canada, New Brunswick.
Prairie provinces, yeah.
Yes, New Brunswick, Ontario. We have Saskatchewan. So what I'm trying to say, we had students from Latin America. We have students from all over the place. So it's not a BC program. However, it is a science education program, and it is the 5th intake, as David mentioned before. Yeah.
So we're situated within a cluster of programs at UBC. This particular program started in 2018, but we also have a math education program. And that's just important for you to know, because you may have math educators in your schools, your colleagues may be math teachers, and they may be thinking to themselves, really, I'd love to do an online master's program, but I'm not strictly passionate about science education. My deal is math education. So we have a Master of Education in Math Education, which is also going to be offered and concurrent with this one. So its intake is very, very similar. So the due date for applications is around about March the 15th. We also have a Master of Media and Technology Studies, which has started, but it's currently on pause this cycle.
Yes. Just a moment. Yeah. So just a few things we wanted to say. First of all, our program is a graduate program, so it is not a certification program to become a teacher in British Columbia or in Canada. So if you are here for that, it's not the right place. It is the program for people who wants to advance their careers, but we are not giving you a teaching certification in Canada or in BC. But for people who want to have leadership roles, for people who want to advance their knowledge, for people who might want to pursue a PhD in the future, that is a great opportunity. And for people who want to get to know people from all over the world who are science educators. And actually, I said it, but I wanted to say something that we didn't plan, but I thought, what if you ask me what is unique about our program versus others? And I think there are 3 things that are unique, but David, please add if you think I missed something. The first thing is that the people who teach do research in science education as well as teaching in science education. For example, I teach future teachers. I was a teacher in high school, and now I also teach graduate courses. So I do research as well as teaching. So that's number 1. The second thing that is unique in our program, that it is clearly focused on teaching science. We're very much trying to help you become better teachers, better educators, better leaders. And because of that, we also offer you opportunities where you participate as part of the program in international online conferences. For the last, David, how many times was it? 3 already? I think 3 times our students participated in international conferences as part of the program. They were virtual conferences, and I think it was an eye-opening experience for many of our students. David, what else is unique about us?
I think one of the key unique features is that because we work together as a cohort, if you're admitted into the program, you work closely with around about 25 other teacher professionals. And the real advantage is that we have a great rich
Oops,
diversity of
I clicked something by
whoop,
mistake.
that's
Yeah,
okay. Go back.
yeah.
We have a very rich diversity of colleagues. So not only will you be working with fellow science teachers, but you'll be working with people who are not necessarily from your school jurisdiction. So if you're a high school teacher, you'll get the opportunity to engage and have conversations and do activities with elementary school teachers. And likewise, because it reaches right across Canada, we've got many teachers in rural areas. So we've got the rural city kind of combination going on. And we've got people from different kinds of career levels. So because it's got that very rich diversity of city, country, and elementary, middle, secondary school, the
And types of
conversations are,
science, David.
and
Yeah,
types of
somebody is a
science, yes,
chemistry, physics,
exactly.
biology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this diversity really opens people's eyes about the nature of science education, and the kind of conversations are immensely beneficial to everybody's practice.
And I wanted to say that a lot of people started online programs as a result of COVID. And I have to say that for us, David, we started way before. We didn't start it because of COVID. We started it because we realized that in today's world, people have lives and they cannot just pause their life to do a degree. But also we found that the flexibility that online program gives people, actually, we have more friendships and more connections amongst people. We still very close in contact with I just wrote a grant with a former student who was in a former, with Stephen, who was in a former colleague, in a former cohort. So this gives people an opportunity to meet people they would have never met otherwise
Mm-hmm.
and become friends.
So I think we want to introduce some of our faculty members, Marina, maybe.
Yeah. So the head of our department, actually, who is from Kenya, it's going to be interesting because we just spoke to one of you who's from Kenya and teaches in Kenya now, Professor Nashon, who is actually a science educator and who has been our head of the department for the last 10 years. He's very supportive of this program, and he's very an inspiration for us in terms of this. Now, David, here you are. You introduced
Yeah, that's
yourself.
me.
Yeah.
I mentioned some of my interest in science education and in informal science, and I'm quite interested in reforming systems. So, one of my passions is to look about how we reform educational systems, and that includes how we strengthen, initiate, and build collaborations between the informal sector and the formal sector. So, I've done a lot of work in terms of this educational reform, particularly in Asian countries. So yeah, but also in Canada, of course.
And I just wanted to say, David, you have taught and gave lectures all over the world, especially in Asian countries. I've been to many countries as a teacher and as invited speaker. So we are very much connected in terms of science education worldwide. We're active researchers and teachers. So this program is very much a collaboration of research and evidence-based program. Yeah, research and teaching together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's me quite a few years ago. I don't want to change pictures. That is our colleague who just popped in to say hello, Cynthia Nicol. Professor Nicol is in charge of the math education cohort. And just to tell you why we're unique, because we collaborate with colleagues. The math education cohort started because we supported them. Yeah, we helped them get started. We work together, we collaborate, and she is the leader or facilitator of the math education cohort. She also teaches courses in our online programs. David, maybe you can say a few words
Yeah,
about
and
Lisa.
then we have another colleague of ours, Dr. Lisa McIntosh. Lisa works with me a lot in the museum education program, but she also teaches one of the courses in the science education program called Learning in Informal Contexts. And so she talks a lot about, how you use informal spaces like the Olympics, for instance, or going to the PNE, which is our local kind of amusement park to teach physics, but not just that, to use all kinds of spaces that have to do with science. It could be the going to the creek or to the local environmental centre, or any kind of space that's outside of the classroom, and how you connect this meaningfully to the curriculum and utilize these kinds of spaces to make the curriculum come alive to the students and enrich their learning experiences.
And one of the advantages of our program that out of the 3 elective courses, you can take more if you wish, but at least 3 you have to. Out of the 3 elective courses, people take informal education courses or other courses that help them develop their passion projects. Yes, somebody cares about the farm education or education in informal settings. And we'll tell you more about this, but you'll have opportunities to have to take courses all over Canada, both face-to-face and online.
Mm-hmm.
I can say a few words about Fu. Dr.
Yeah.
Guopeng Fu, he actually was our student as Lisa. He finished PhD with us. David, when was it? About 10 years
12,
ago?
12 years ago.
12 years ago, yeah. He has been teaching in our cohort now. He's an associate professor in science education now in East China Normal University. But I just wanted to say that we have all the people who teach are people that we handpicked, that we know they're doing a great job. They are creative people, they're people in the field, and they care about our program. So it's our baby, this program. So we care that every instructor is a professional. And I can say Oksana teaches science education courses. She's an environmental educator as well, of course, holds a PhD. But most importantly, she has been teaching science methods courses professionally here for a while, and she is doing an amazing job. I would say that Oksana, Lisa, and Fu, those would be the strongest people. I mean, I teach as well, but they're very, very strong people in our program. So David, maybe you say a couple of words about this,
Sure.
please.
So I mentioned before that this is a cohort program, and so you go through the program lockstep for 7 mandatory courses. So it's a 30 credit point program. That means basically there are 10 3-credit blocks. You think about each course as being equivalent to 3 credits. So a typical course is around about 10 to 13 weeks, thereabouts. Some are a little bit more truncated and more intensive mode, but it's the same amount of curriculum basically. And so we go lockstep together. So we start out by looking at research and teaching and learning in the sciences, 559. That's your course, Marina, is it?
Yes. I teach the first course where I give an introduction. What does it mean to do research? How do we read research papers? How do we decide to trust or not to trust? We live in the time of AI where people can fake research very professional, yeah? And on the other hand, we have to be vigilant and critical of what we read. Also, we have an amazing course. Oksana teaches Education 500 on research methodologies in education, because some of you might not have ever done a methodology courses. Yeah, we have science learning in informal settings. That's Lisa teaches. Yes. Oksana will teach research in environmental education. She's doing an amazing job. Then we have an elective. That's another course of mine, Teaching with Technology, and I'm redoing the course. I'm super excited, just published a paper on the topic. Now we have a course on curriculum issues and theories. Liz will be teaching, and we have a course on issues in teaching and learning of the sciences, which Fu will teach. So what I wanted to say is that we have 7 courses that are mandatory. So you have to at least be in the program till the end of April 2028. However, how you do your elective courses is up to you. You can finish those electives in the summer of 2027 or earlier or whenever you want. So the earliest you can finish the program, I'm answering some of the questions, is April 28th. And you can, if you want, you can finish up to December 28th. But there is something important here. What if you want to do, David, what if somebody thinks, I want to do a PhD at the end? That's a stepping stone to go into PhD. Maybe you want to have a course where you'll write a mini research project, yeah, with a mentor who is going to work with you. We have an option as an elective, it's called 590 as well. So you have a lot
Is that
of,
on the next slide, Marina? Maybe, is there something about that?
maybe, you're right. Yes. So,
Yeah.
yes. So maybe you can say a few words about this, the Western.
Yeah. So there are, so basically, as Marina said, 7 courses are mandatory. So that takes you to 21 credits. And then there's 9 credits which you choose. So you can choose these from a variety of areas. You can do courses at UBC. And we've got lots of courses that you could pick from, depending on what your passions and interests are. You can do courses at other universities for which we have partnerships through the Western Deans Agreement. And this is basically a really wonderful mechanism whereby you can do courses that you may identify at, for example, University of Toronto or University of Alberta or University of Victoria or
McGill.
other partner McGill, other partner universities. And you don't actually have to pay for that course if you're admitted through this system. So basically what you do is you identify a set course that fits in with our partner universities. You fill out this form and then you nominate it, and then we put it through the system here. And then if there's a seat available, they will approve it. And you don't actually have to pay for that course at the other university because it becomes part of your normal tuition fee here at UBC. So that's a great advantage.
But the course, David, the course has to be related to the program. I mean, we can try to relate most of the courses, but we have to justify. You cannot just take the course just because you want to.
That's right. Yeah. So, you can do these courses. They have to be approved, of course, by us. So we will go through and scrutinize it and say, does it meet the criteria for your degree, and does it meet the requirements of the university for you to be able to take that course? And if there's a seat available, then you can do it. So that's basically how it works. So just back to the 590, Marina was mentioning 590, which is called Graduating Project. And this is another option. So you can work with one of us, any one of the professors that you just saw a moment ago, and you can develop a kind of what we call a capstone project. So it can be a little bit of research in your own classroom environment, could be on a topic that you have a passion about, that you want to invest energies in, and then you'll write some kind of extended paper based on this, which will count as credit towards your program.
Just a moment, David. Somebody with the name AMP asked, the interdisciplinary network and access is one of the most appealing parts to me. That's what Western Canadian Deans Agreement. Can you talk more about the difference of the programs and fields that people get a chance to work with? So we had students who said, I'm very interested in environmental education, in depth. So they went to study that. Or people who wanted to look at informal in more depth, people who looked at farming. So the fields are absolutely varied. David, museum education, Some people said, I want to look at the science museums. So the students have done all different kinds of courses that they've done them elsewhere. But you're asking, what have graduates on to do? So a lot of our students are teachers who are now a lot of them went to become leaders in their fields. For example, they want to work with the school boards if it's in Canada. They want to work in museums. So all those kinds of work. To be honest, a lot of teachers who have taken our programs, they also got an increase in salary, and that's one of the motivations. But also they had leadership roles. And some people went to pursue a PhD because they said, look, I want to do research. I really liked it. Before you do a PhD, it's important to realize, is it something for you? And I think it's a great opportunity to see what people do when they pursue a PhD program.
David, let's have a look at the next slide there, Marina. Let's move on. We can get to the questions towards the end. I'm sure there'll be many.
Okay. So I think I mentioned that we have different conferences. That's kind of an opportunity for you to feel if research is for you. We challenge people to participate in conferences. You do not need to present if you don't want, but if you want, we can support you. But also it gives you an opportunity to meet with the people who do research in our field. And that's one of the unique opportunities that we have in our program. Before we move on, because we just had I think, the first part, let me look, any questions that so far that we discussed at the beginning, let me check. If somebody has a question that we just talked to, could you please ask? I think, okay. So
Okay.
I do not see David. Let's move on, and then
let's hear from Kelvin, and then we'll open it up for general discussion.
Yes, Kelvin, it's your turn, please. And let us introduce somebody very special. Mr. Kelvin Mock. Kelvin is helping us with all the admin side for the program. He knows all the ins and outs, the administrative part. So Kelvin, could you please say a few words about it, and I will move the slides.
Sure. Hi, my name's Kelvin. I'm from the OPL office, and I basically assist folks with the application and admission process, and also with general admin stuff once you're actually in the program. So yeah, next slide, please. So regarding your application requirements, we are looking for an approved bachelor's degree, and for K-12 teachers, that's kindergarten to grade 12, 1 year of teacher education. Alternatively, we also accept a 5-year bachelor's degree in education, or a 4-year bachelor's degree in education or other appropriate area. This other appropriate area is somewhat of a broad category. So if you're not quite sure, welcome you to send us an email and make sure. We are looking for a we're looking for a GPA of B+ or equivalent at UBC or any other university that uses a 100 percentile scale. It is roughly a 76%. The one exception would be transfer some universities in China, and that would usually correspond closer to an 85% for most PRC university grading systems. But please do note that this GPA is not a hard cutoff point. If you don't quite meet the criteria, let's say you're only a few percentages off, if the rest of your application is still considered to be strong enough and you appear to be a good fit for the program, David and Marina may submit a special case rationale to recommend you for admission to UBC grad studies. Yeah. Next slide.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh, now it's moving.
Yeah. You also be asked to provide a 600-word statement of intent about your career goals and why you wish to take part in this particular program. As mentioned before, if you don't quite meet the GPA, as long as you convince us that you're still a good fit for the program, you might still be considered. So your statement of intent is a very great opportunity for you to basically explain and convince us why you are a good candidate. That, along with the resume or CV, is where you'd be able to showcase the full extent of your experience and capabilities. So for the resume and CV, it's important to note that this is a CV for the purpose of applying to a graduate program. So there is no need for you to stick with the conventional structure of like a 1 or 2 page CV that most jobs might be looking for. We encourage you to tailor your CV as detailed or as brief as you require to, showcase your professional and educational experience. If 1 page is enough for you, go ahead. If you need like 3 or 4 pages, that is okay as well.
And we hope to see an authentic 600-word statement and not just AI generated. a
Yeah.
fake statement. So for us, we need to know who you are so we can see if you are a good fit for our program, because for us, it's very important who we accept. Yeah.
And we are also looking for for 3 letters of recommendation. Can you go back 1 slide, please?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking for 3 letters of recommendation. These are basically your reference letters. And these are people who can speak to your academic and professional background. And usually we'll be asking individuals to provide 1 academic and 2 professional references. However, we do understand that it might not be feasible for every applicant to provide academic references. Maybe it's been a while that you've done any school and you simply no longer have access or are able to contact your academic references. And in those instances, 3 professional references will be accepted. You'll also be asked to provide scanned copies of all of your official transcripts. And if your degree is obtained outside of Canada, you'll also be asked to provide scans of the degree certificate as well. So regarding admission requirements, there is a case with English language proficiency standards. So applicants from a university outside Canada where English is not the primary language of instruction must provide results of an English language test as part of the application. The test must have been taken within the last 24 months at the time of submission of your application. And basically that means that you have to have already met the language requirement before you apply for the program. You cannot apply for the program, get admitted, and then meet the English language requirement retroactively. It has to be met from the very beginning. I received a question earlier asking, for example, if the degree is from the Philippines, would this be okay? So let's say your undergrad or graduate degree is from the Philippines, as long as the primary language of instruction of your university, not your program, it has to be the whole university. If the primary language of instruction is English, then yes, it will be satisfying the UBC's English language requirements.
And you can always ask us. You can always email us and ask, and we'll, yeah, Kelvin, you'll be able to help and check it out.
So regarding the application procedures, the entire process is done online. You'll be applying at grad.ubc.ca/apply/online. On the web page, you'll be prompted to log in with your CWL if you have a UBC CWL, or create one. The CWL stands for campus-wide login, and it's basically your UBC account for anything online related. So whether it be accessing your student profile, your courses on Canvas, or even the UBC online library catalog, all of this will be accessed through your CWL. Under degree program selection, you type in SCE5 to look for this specific program. It is very important for you to be vigilant when applying, because it is rather common for applicants to accidentally apply to the wrong program. And unfortunately, due to a system limitation, as your program support staff, I cannot just switch the applications around. UBC grad school will unfortunately ask you to reapply from the very beginning if you do accidentally apply to the wrong program. And yep, make sure you select the correct program before declaring and submitting your application. And while you're applying, you also be asked to upload your documents. These documents, they can be uploaded before you submit the application. They can also be submitted, uploaded after you submit the application. So these include your official transcripts and also your degree certificates if it is an international degree, your references, your statement of intent, resume, and an English language test if it applies to you. Please note that once you're actually admitted into the program, you then have to provide official transcripts directly to UBC Grad Studies. So this can be the form of an electronic transcript. It will have to be sent directly from your university to UBC, or if it is the case of a paper transcript, it can be mailed to us in its original sealed and unopened envelope. The moment a transcript envelope is opened, UBC will not consider it valid. It must remain sealed when it arrives at our offices. Going into your references, when adding your references to your application, you'll be asked whether they are a professional or academic reference, and you're strongly encouraged to submit electronic reference letters simply because it is easier to track, and also because physical reference letters take a while to arrive at the office, and it may impact your application if it is delayed. So in your application, you'll be asked to type in the email addresses of your 3 references, and references using free email addresses like Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo.com will instead receive a link to a paper form that you can then have your reference print out, filled in, and mailed to our office. So as opposed to that, a professional email address would be something like at ubc.ca, at whatever school district.ca, at whatever professional organization.com, something like that. So once you have submitted and paid for your application, your referees will be receiving these emails with a link and instruction for completing the online form or the link to the paper form to download and print. Please note that they will only receive these emails after you have paid and submitted your application. So as long as the application has not been properly submitted, your references will not receive any links. Yeah, a reference letter can also take place of the reference form as long as it addresses all the questions asked in the form. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as previously mentioned, in cases where referees are unable to submit an electronic form, sealed and endorsed reference letters may be sent by mail. It's important for your reference to include the 4-character cohort code of SCE5 when submitting your reference, and all paper references must arrive in sealed envelopes with their signature on the seal. All these requirements is basically there to prevent reference fraud, which has happened before. Next slide, please. Yes. So for the application deadline, the online application is open as of right now. You can apply as early as right after this info session if you want. The application deadline is for March 15th, 2026, and the document deadline is March 29th, 2026, meaning the latest that you have to press submit is March 15th, But after that, you have until the 29th to make sure all of your necessary documents are uploaded or be sent to UBC. There is a difference in application fees for domestic and international students as listed right here. And if you're someone who is not a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident, all other status will fall under international applicants. Now, regarding tuition, the favorite part of the slide, there is a difference in domestic and international tuition for this program, as listed on the slide right here. It is assessed as an annual program fee, divided into 3 equal installments due at the beginning of each term. So this would be September, January, and May. Your tuition is payable over a minimum of 7 installments. So this is basically one for each term in your program. In the case where you go over the 7-term structure, let's say you need an 8th or a 9th term to finish your graduation paper. In that instance, each additional term will incur a fee, but that's roughly only around 900 Canadian dollars per term for the quote-unquote extra continuing tuition. Tuition is charged as a whole program fee. Oh, go back 1 slide.
That's what you just said. Okay.
Yeah. Tuition is charged as a whole program fee and not on a per credit basis. So basically, this means that no matter how many courses you end up taking in the program, your tuition fee will remain exactly the same. Even if you have transfer credits and you end up taking less courses, your tuition remains the same. If you want to take a lot more electives for your personal interest or development, let's say you take 5 more courses than need to, your tuition will again remain exactly the same. So this is a good opportunity for individuals to fully utilize this privilege and take a few more courses. And tuition may be raised by up to 2% annually. And if there is an increase, it will be announced in spring of each year, usually around March. Regarding funding eligibility, regarding funding, since this program is part-time, it is not eligible for student loans or traditional types of funding. The part-time structure of the program is designed for full-time professionals in mind. So for individuals who have a full-time job, you are able to complete this program on the side part-time. However, if you're able to secure your own personal third-party funding, maybe your school district has funds for teachers getting a master's degree, or maybe your local province or whichever part of the world that you're from, maybe your local education board or government is providing funds regardless of whether a program is online or part-time, then in those cases, yes, you'll be able to secure your own third-party funding. On top of regular tuition, there will be student fees. They're charged in addition to tuition, and they vary from term to term. You'll be budgeting for approximately $800 to $900 per term. However, a lot of these fees you are able to opt out of because you are either online students or you don't live in Vancouver and you don't utilize a lot of these services. So for example, if you have your own coverage, you can opt out of, let's say, the medical and dental plan. If you do not live in Vancouver, you will be able to opt out of the local transit pass. And there are other various small student fees that a student can opt out of to bring down the amount that you pay each term. So we can bring it down as close as roughly $200 to $300 if you know what you're opting out of. So regarding teacher education certificates, so if you are a teacher in the Vancouver Lower Mainland and you have taken UBC students in your classroom as student teachers, you might qualify for a tuition credit. I believe each section that you host is qualifying for approximately 0.5 credits worth of tuition. And if this applies to you, we encourage you to claim it. And you simply contact the teacher education office at teacher.ed@ubc.ca to sort that out.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I just will say that if you're a local physics teacher or science teacher, if you're interested in hosting our students and getting credit, let me know, because we're always looking for good teachers to mentor our students. And now, before we go to questions, I have a very special guest. I have Lily here. Lily, Lily, I thought I saw you. Am I right? Lily came, she is, yes.
Hello.
Hello, Lily. Let me just introduce Lily. She is one of the participants of the current program. She's a teacher, she's a science teacher in Vancouver. As you can see, she's proving to us that she is a science teacher. So Lily, oh yeah, in Vancouver, in Coquitlam, I'm wrong, Lily, I'm sorry. In the Lower Mainland. And Lily, you are finishing your program, cohort number 4. I just asked you, and you were very kind to come. Could you please say a few words about your own experience, why you decided to take the program, and what did it give you?
So I started the program probably I'm still a new teacher, and I started it last year, so that's second year into my teaching. And I wanted to join the program because first of all, I needed a flexible program because, you know, you want to work full time, but you also want to study at the same time. So it was a great program in that sense. And also, I just wanted to learn from other teachers from literally everywhere. And currently our cohort, we have teachers from Canada, from China, like we have teachers from literally so many countries, and we're just learning from each other. And I think that was one of the things that I was looking for when I was coming into this program. And now we have a group chat where we just share our resources. Let's say I'm teaching science 10 genetics. Does anyone have any resources about this? And we'll have so many documents just being shared in the group chat, and that's how we kind of communicate. And now we have such a good community, and it's been great for me.
Thank you, Lily. Just a quick question. People asked me, but you'll be better to answer. People were asking, how do you manage your time? How overwhelming is the program? I mean, considering I'm your teacher in the current course, I know it's hard to answer. But yeah.
Honestly, I think last year when I was starting the program, I needed to kind of see where I was at, just balancing my school life and my personal life and also everything together. But now everyone's in the rhythm, so it's not too bad. Honestly, it's not too bad. And we try to do a lot of work over the weekends, and there's a lot of project-based learning. And because it's project-based, we are working at our own pace. So sometimes if I have some more time, then I could work on it, let's say on Monday, if I have some time. And some other group members might be working on it when I'm not when I'm a little bit busy. So honestly speaking, in the beginning, you have to find your own rhythm, but once you're in that rhythm, it's totally manageable. Yeah.
Thank you. And Lily, thank you so much for showing up. I know you're super busy and you found the time. I just wanted to say huge thanks for showing up.
Oh, no worries.
Thank you, Lily. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here. Thank you. And just somebody said, is it possible, there were questions that we received, David, is it possible to expedite the completion? And one, what you mean by the expedite, the minimum time you have to finish the courses that are lockstep courses, yeah, which means you can do it in less than 2 years. you can start in September, finish in April of the following year, but you cannot do it in a year, for example. Now, somebody is asking how often is the intake for students? Once in 2 years. It's a 2-year program, so we're doing it once in 2 years. Now
Yeah, and Rich,
yes.
sorry, Marina, go ahead.
Yeah, somebody said how many seats are available for application. This year, this time we had 25 students, but I think we might have a little fewer. We definitely want to have a very close cohort because we work individually. As Lily said, we do a lot of project-based work, so no more than, I would say, maybe 24 or something like that. It's a very small program. I'm an overseas, yes.
Rich asks a very interesting question here. It's as if my background is in English and language arts, would I qualify for this program? And I think the answer lies in the fact that when you submit your application, it's not just your undergraduate degree, but it's also your CV and your statement of intent that's kind of considered. So you may be in a situation where you did a Bachelor of Arts, for instance. You didn't do a Bachelor of Education, or your undergraduate degree was in history, but then you've gone on and you've demonstrated some kind of career path in science education, or some definite trajectory where you've gone on to other things. And so these kinds of people are definitely well considered within the program. So according to the Faculty of Graduate Study rules, the basic requirement is a 4-year bachelor's degree from a recognized institution. So if you're a person who does not have specifically a science degree, but you've got another degree, but you've demonstrated the trajectory in science education through your CV and statement of intent and other activities, then yes, you would be considered.
And we have a question: how is this program different from the MA? And I'll start, David, and you'll add and correct, please. So the first difference is that this is a cohort program. We guarantee that all the courses that you're required to take will run. Yeah, because we designed them, you go continue it as a cohort with the people that you know. On the other hand, because it's MEd, Masters of Education, we're not requiring you to do a thesis at the end. Usually, an MA program means you do a thesis, you do a big research project. However, if you're doing an MEd, nobody prevents you from doing a mini research project as a research paper at the end. You can use your electives as a base to do your own research, and we will find a mentor for you. So David, you have done it many times. You have paired up students based on the interest, what they want to study, with the people in our environment who are ready to supervise. And then we had students who finished their research projects. So the difference between MA and MEd, the biggest difference is that MEd you can finish without having this project if you don't want. But the other big difference, this program versus MA, that this is a guaranteed program that you will 100% do, and all the courses will be offered as promised. With the MA courses, if we don't have enough students or we have much more, you're not in a cohort. It's on you and your supervisor to find the right courses for you. David, what did I forget?
No, that's an accurate answer to that question. Someone also asked the questions about if you've got a current restricted license for BC to teach in private schools, will this master's program allow for a full BC license upgrade? And the answer is no to that. So this is not a teacher accreditation program. It's a professional development program.
And one sec, if you go on to get a doctorate, to earn a doctorate in education, is it a doctorate in science or education? My doctorate is in science education. We actually, in our department, the doctorate is in curriculum, when you specialize in science education. So that would be something to say. If someone is interested in pursuing a PhD in the future, could any of the courses, possible research opportunities in this program, count towards the PhD program? No, and actually it's not going to count for our MA students as well. Our students who do MA with us, they take the courses as an MA program, and then the PhD courses are different. We have, for example, at UBC in our department, a PhD is 601, 602, yeah? They're not offered for master's students.
I think the answer to that is have the credits been used or not. So if you count your courses, your 10 courses towards the master's degree, you get the master's degree, then the answer is no, you can't contribute those courses to a later degree. But let's say, I don't know, maybe you did a few courses and you think, I really want to do a PhD. You apply to the PhD program. Those courses have not been contributed to the master's degree. Yes, you could potentially transfer those courses into a PhD program.
But to be honest, guys, PhD is not about the courses. PhD is about being able to do research. Courses is something very small compared to the big part of the PhD where you have to do your own research. And I think that's what I think the strengths of this program, MED, that you have an opportunity to not only participate in the conference, an international conference, but you also have an opportunity to do a project and see, am I capable of doing a PhD? Now, to be honest, and David, you know that, we have a super competition for a PhD, at least at UBC, we have about 60 applicants, and we're lucky if we can accept, 8, 9 people or something like that. So it's really important, not just on paper, do you have MA or MEd? The real stuff is, what have you done? If you have published your research, if you have participated in conferences, that's what counts. A lot of people run after the letters. Yeah, is it this or is it that? The real thing, a lot of people do EDD, educational doctorate. It's are you capable of doing an independent research and moving a field of study forward? That's the big question. I think that's a very unique opportunity. I've been teaching now for 15 years. David, you've been teaching for 20, both online and face-to-face. And I think each option has its own advantages. Here, you have to be an organized person. You have to, it is a challenge for some people, because we're not there to force you and say, come to class, do it now. We're trying to be as organized as possible, but you have to be a person who can schedule your time, So that's why Lily mentioned the first year, the beginning is challenging, but a lot of us know how to do that and are very successful. The freedom comes with responsibility.
Any other questions? Just raise your hand or
you
just
can
jump
just
in or
ask questions. If someone is no PhD, we answered. Kelvin, could you please remind me, what were the questions online in the registration that I forgot to answer?
I think he's put most of them there. Is that right, Kelvin?
Yeah. But anyways, we just wanted to say, if you have questions, don't hesitate to email David or myself, and just email me. I can meet with you on Zoom in person and just discuss. And the point is, it is an amazing opportunity, I think, for you to see what it means to have a graduate degree. Oh, thank you. Yes, questions have been answered. It's a great opportunity to meet amazing people. We have people who exchange about ideas about teaching overseas. And finally, I wanted to mention some of the most interesting people in the current cohort are people whose undergraduate, some people had philosophy undergraduate, and started teaching science. Our elementary teachers very often do not have a specialized science degree, but they happen to become a science specialist in the elementary school. So we have people with very interesting backgrounds, and all of them want to learn. So it's a very positive community. And from before, what percentage of applicants get into the program? About, David, what was our...
well, it depends year by year. So I think last year it was maybe
less than 50%?
50% would be an average. 50% success in admissions will be an average. So the truth of the matter is we have more spots than we have interest. That's the reality. So not everybody that applies gets in.
No, you have more interest than we have spots.
Sorry, yes, we've got more interest in spots. That's correct. Yeah. Someone just asked about how long you can take to do the program. So because it's a lockstep program, it does present some challenges if you miss the courses, because some courses only come up every 2 years. So I would really encourage you, and it is the case for just about everyone. I think there's very few circumstances that people have not gone lockstep. I mean, there's the normal life things that come up. People fall pregnant, and then there are, you know, family issues which cause delays. But it really is better if you can go lockstep, because you manage to get through the program together, and there's a benefit in working together. So
But we also
I think, as Kelvin mentioned a moment
Yeah.
ago, the maximum you can carry credits before they expire is 5 years.
But we also worked with people when emergencies happen. Life happens.
Yes.
We all get sick. And
Life happens.
when this
Yes.
happens, we work with the people to figure it out. I have to tell you
Yes.
that for us, if we accept the success of our students as our success, we want this program to be successful. We know each one of the students personally. We know where they teach. We know what they do. They can email us and ask for support. A lot of students email us and ask for recommendations for PhD or some advancement, or want to move to another leadership position. So we become a community in this program. It's far beyond, it's not just the formal, you know, finished, bye-bye. And we, David and I, we've done research on that. We've looked at trajectories of the former students. David, if you remember where our paper was published, maybe you can put the link. That we know that people have benefited tremendously from the program, professionally and emotionally, and just became friends. Some people even found friends where they live. We had people in New Brunswick that found each other. 2 teachers of science who met thanks to our program.
Yeah, just following up on what Marina said and what David said, you know, sometimes life happens, and you know, there many things can cause delays or extension to the quote unquote standard 2.5 year program length. But the important thing is, let us know if you are experiencing difficulty, or if you expect to be facing delays of whatever reason. If you let us, both me and David and Marina, know as early as possible in advance, then we'll be able to basically help you navigate your options, and to, you know, plan forward what to do with the courses that you have missed. The worst thing that a student can do is if they are experiencing trouble and they don't say anything, because UBC grad studies, you know, paperwork and case review is a thing, and it's a lot easier to get things done and adjusted in advance versus retroactively. So, you know, we have cases where in other programs that, you know, maybe a student takes into their 6th year to finish their program due to whatever delays in the middle. But because they let us know in advance, we're able to properly plan it out. So yeah, there is flexibility for sure, but you have to let us know.
But in the 4 years of the program, we have 4 years. So far, knock on wood, we haven't had anybody who hasn't finished on time. So far.
4 years, 8 years, right? No.
I mean, not 8 years, but about 4 intakes, what I meant.
Oh, it's in 4 intakes.
4 intakes, yes. And
yes.
we want you to succeed. It's
yes.
We
Yes, most people are very motivated because they want their pay increase, their category 6. So, you know, there's a big financial incentive for practicing teachers to get their master's degree. So we find most people are very motivated to actually finish in 2 years.
And just to tell you, we also finally, before we go, I wanted to say our program is flexible. For example, this year we offered a course on AI in science education. Yeah, we always think, what is happening? What do we need to do? And that's why we have the flexibility to make the program as relevant, as interesting for the people as possible. Yeah, we discussed with our students, we meet face to face sometimes to discuss it. people said we want AI, and that's what it is. Yeah. Excuse me.
Well,
The entire
I
fourth
think
cohort finished one term early together.
early, yes,
Absolutely.
amazing, yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, I know that there's going to be many other questions that sort of come along. So if you've got questions about the application process, Kelvin's your man. So email him. If you've got academic questions about the program, either Marina or I can help you. And I just wanted to say, just as we wrap up here today, that you can start your application, or you can open your application this evening if you wanted to, because it does take a little bit of time to kind of build up the portfolio that you need to finally submit, which is March the 15th. So you won't be charged anything from UBC until you press that submit button. So you can organize things that you can upload. If you've got copies of transcripts, you can upload them immediately. You can upload your referees that you may wish to submit as referees. Although I do recommend you approach them first, so let them know what you're doing, so it just doesn't come unawares. So anyway, you can build this portfolio that you need to submit for the application starting tonight. And continue on, log in, log out, and come back in and continue.
And feel free to email us. Yeah. Feel free to email us. We know, David, we promised 1 hour, but I just wanted to say thank you to, of course, Kelvin and David and Lily, everybody who showed up, all of you. And we're here to help. We'll record, this will be recorded and posted online, but you're always welcome to email us.